Good morning and welcome to episode 284 of the Dumb Marks podcast. You got the three-man booth with you today. I'm Chris, Steve, and Jason. Donald's off this week. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
We got the vanilla Oreo cookie edition today.
Uh-oh.
Although Jason's probably
filling.
Well, I mean, given the fact that you don't go out in the sun, your melanin is lacking right now. So you know,
you'd be interchangeable.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Does not matter, boy. Woo-wee. I'm good, man. Hey, listen, it's a blessed morning. Woke up early, got some reading in, got some reflection in, some meditation in, trying to wash away what was last night from a pro wrestling standpoint, but we will get into it. And yeah, man, here, ready to rock and roll. I feel the energy. I feel the vibes today. I feel like we're going to over deliver today.
You're feeling it.
Yeah.
Feeling it.
The spirit's got you already this morning.
Much like Jay-Z, with a Reasonable Doubt concert in July. I'm feeling it.
He's coming.
Are you feeling those ticket prices?
Bro, there was like over 800,000 people in the queue. And I don't even know what tickets cost. But I just hopped in to see how many people were in the queue because if I had to pick one of the two nights to go to, and I don't know why we're starting with Jay-Z, and we're not a hip hop podcast, but
you'll tie into
the
intro topic today.
Yeah, it definitely will. I would probably go to the Friday show for Reasonable Doubt instead of Blueprint on Saturday. He's doing each album. Yeah.
Wait a minute. He's doing two different concerts?
Yeah, he's doing two nights. So he's doing because Reasonable Doubt turns 30 and Blueprint turns 25. So he's doing Reasonable Doubt on Friday, Blueprint on Saturday.
2 days doesn't have to work the rest of the day.
Talk about a money grab. Oh man.
Bro. Both albums were one was right before I got to be outside doing stuff, and then one was I was outside doing stuff. But I prefer Reasonable Doubt over Blueprint, so I would prefer to go to that show if I had money and could afford Jay-Z prices. But the way my checking and savings works, I might as well just pop in the CDs and listen to them because that's about the closest I'll get to that concert.
You okay over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't even know what the ticket prices are for them. I did hear about it, but all I can think is ridiculous. So, because what isn't these days? So,
yeah. So, shout out to everybody that hung in the queue and potentially waited.
Is this the one that's at Yankee Stadium?
Yeah.
Both nights? Yeah.
Both nights, yeah.
So, yeah. Yankee Stadium, New York City. Ridiculous.
Bronx, yep. Yeah. So, but that does tie into the intro topic as well as the headline for this show. So,
yes, it does. Jason, you got anything before we go into it?
No, we're going into it.
All right. So, this is a two-parter for the intro topic. One of the headlines this week was a Brooklyn preschool director allegedly spent $2.7 million in tuition, stole $2.7 million in tuition, and spent about $350,000 just on WWE.
WWE VIP packages.
There was different levels to what she bought.
Okay. I only saw the headline for the VIP packages.
Yeah. Apparently, it was multiple events and stuff. It wasn't just one.
Live it up.
Which I'm surprised it just wasn't $350,000 for one event. But I think my favorite headline from this was the New York Post noted, "It's unclear why she is so enthusiastic about professional wrestling."
Mark.
Kids was a person. There you go.
I mean,
so
hey, look,
I wasn't sure she did it to buy the students.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
no.
Like her and her kids, and that was it. So
yeah, this is not a wrestling club type thing, right? Where they do stuff for the kids and everything else. No. This is just for her.
Yeah.
So listen, the scammers are always going to scam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Period. Doesn't matter where you look at. and we've seen certain Congress people in the news recently about scamming. What
you say?
The fact that she spent, I think it was upwards of almost 350,000 total
Just on WWE.
Just on WWE, man.
And apparently, she posted the pictures from the events on Instagram, so there's footage.
Look, you can't be listen. Go watch American Gangster, okay? if you don't wear the fur, if you don't wear the mink to the match, to the boxing event, nobody knows who you are. That's how Frank Lucas got caught.
No.
You never put out there what you're doing with the funds. You just go and live your life. And that's the problem with nowadays where everybody think they got to throw stuff on social media. No, man. Take the mental picture and just rock out with the scam. Don't go out there promoting the scam. That's how you get caught.
Don't do that much. You don't need the VIP. Like
that too.
Enjoy Peanut Heaven, right? Enjoy obstructed view.
No, I mean, you don't gotta go front row. You can go lower level. But be maybe like 8 to 10 rows back, so you're kind of in the crowd. You're not standing up. You're just sitting there enjoying it. But yeah, don't be out there touting the scam while you're like, come on now.
You can get an 8x10 in the chair on the shop. You ain't gotta get it free. Come on.
No.
Yeah. No. But I just find it interesting that, like you said, of all the things that she could have spent money on, out of the 2.7 million that she scammed, almost $500,000 went to WWE.
Yeah.
And then people wonder why WrestleMania tickets are $20,000.
So,
right? Or they wonder why VIP packages are $10,000, $9,500, and $11,000.
So one of the things I checked on, because I was like, when was this from? Like, was this current, where ticket prices are, as we said, ridiculous for things? And it looked like it started in January 2022 and continued through October 2025. So yeah, she was paying a lot of money for some of these WWE tickets.
Bro, she had a 3-year run with it.
Yeah, she had a run.
Podcast coming soon.
I mean,
coming soon to Denmark's network.
That's the plan right there.
Yeah, that puts Brock Lesnar guy and green t-shirt guy to shame. But yeah, no,
their taxes.
Look, that definitely ties into the cost for the VIP packages, to where people feel the need to scam to get the money to afford to go to these events and packages. I mean, you're charging $9,500 for a Cody Rhodes bus tour.
So this is for Clash in the Castle, or Clash in Italy, whatever they're calling it, right?
No.
Oh,
the Liv Morgan is the one. Yeah, the Liv Morgan is the one in Italy. The Cody's for Mania.
Okay.
$9,500 for a bus tour.
Just a tour. Get on the bus.
You get on the bus, you tour, and then they take around to show you a couple landmarks in Vegas, which means they'll probably just go around one block and point out, hey, there's Caesars, there's the Wynn.
Here's Allegiant Stadium where you're going to be today.
Yeah, here's the Bellagio, and then we're back. Thanks for coming. It'll be quicker than 10-year marriage on an anniversary night. The Liv Morgan one is where you get to cook pasta in Italy for $11,000.
Is that a class, or is that a
that fettuccine Alfredo?
Is this a euphemism?
And that's authentic. That's authentic fettuccine Alfredo. You from scratch, hopefully, because if we just boiling pasta and noodles without actually making the dough for the pasta,
you get pasta.
Then you're getting you're getting ripped off. Now, I don't. The Cody bus tour is sold out. So
of course it is.
Obviously, right? I'm sure the Liv Morgan pasta cooking will be sold out. So like, people can complain about these prices, but they're selling out and they're getting the money for it. They're going to continue to do it.
Yep. It's not going to stop them at all.
So unbelievable. But yeah, that's just hilarious. That
I'm not hating on the people that do it. I just wish I could find something that gets me into that class.
I mean, we had a discussion last week. Unlimited funds. If you had unlimited funds, would you?
yeah, absolutely, I would.
Pasta.
Yeah. Yeah, give me some Parmigiano Reggiano right on top. I'll be out there like Salt Bay, just sprinkling all over.
So to compare, end of the year, I'm going to Italy, and it's going to be like a week and a half trip. Half of what you pay for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, they said for whatever package to go to WrestleMania, you could fly to Japan, stay for damn near a month, and fly back, and it's still cheaper than what you would pay for Mania. Like, you got to put it into context to see where your money can go and stretch to, and is this really worth it? Now, me personally, because classes in Italy, and Italy is somewhere where I would like to go. It's where my family's from. I've gone through and had the research sent to me on where they're from. So would I go and make an event out of it? Absolutely. But I still don't have the $6 to $8 grand to go to do that on top of whatever ticket prices and everything else. And with it being its first PLE in Italy, good luck trying to get a seat. So, I mean, yeah, like, hey, I get doing the experience overseas and add in some extra spice to those packages, because especially to an area where they've never been before. But like, come on, if you just add in a random VIP package to Great Balls of Fire, like, no, I'm not signing up for that. Like, come on, you're just grabbing the money at that point, much like Netflix is with increasing their prices again.
That's what they do. New year, new price.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, I know, like, wrestling fans are starting to and bitching about this, and there was a lawsuit filed against WWE for PLE something or another. I forget what the complaint
for the ESPN.
Yeah, but they didn't name ESPN specifically as a defendant, but ESPN stepped in to get involved because the language within the agreement that you sign when you accept the terms through ESPN is that anything, it won't go to court. It'll have to go to arbitration. So ESPN stepped in to be added in as a defendant and be involved so that it would not go to court and it would have to go to arbitration. So more to come on that as that scenario plays out. But I mean, you heard this from baseball fans with regards to opening night being on Netflix. Basketball fans have been bitching about this for 2 years now, because you need 17 different platforms to watch basketball games. Like, people are starting to complain about pro sporting events being hidden behind paywalls. On top of all the money that you shell out to attend these events and everything else. And we've seen Ticketmaster have to get sued through their mess with how they were price gouging people and everything else. Fees are damn near the cost of the ticket. Like, people have had enough.
Yeah.
So, is it going to take a quote unquote landmark precedent case to get things to change? Probably. Will that happen soon? I can almost guarantee it based on how things are right now.
I remember even before this one, a couple of years ago, like when Disney Plus launched, there was something came up, like someone went to Disney parks and I guess got injured somehow, and they had said, like, oh, we need to check something, and here the person ended up being like a Disney Plus subscriber, and they said, oh, you can't sue us because in the T's and C's, so you're signing up for these things, you're not reading anything. And
on page 47 with with the contradictions of what is and what is not and everything else, like, people don't read past the first three paragraphs if they even look at it at all. They just check the box and sign up, and I'm guilty of it myself, right? But
you just don't know what you're signing against, whenever you do this.
I mean, Steve, you'd be good with it, but once you get to therefore However, though, without I'm out. I'm like, you lost me.
Yeah.
When they start out in the Roman numerals instead of the numbers.
Yeah, Jason checks out.
And I'm out. I'm lost.
But no, I mean, like, and here's the thing now, which anybody can do. And if you're not doing this now, then you're just asking for the blowback if something were to happen and you not be prepared. But now you can take those agreements, put them in the AI, ask a simple prompt, and you can get all the answers you need. So, where does this document contradict itself? Boom, spits out exactly where it contradicts itself. If something, am I able to sue? Blah, blah, blah. Boom, tells you yes or no. Like, I would highly recommend people to start doing that because it's available to you, where before you're just checking the box and rolling with it. And if something happens, you got no recourse because you don't know, because you're not educated enough, or you don't understand the language to know where things are. But now you have the ability to copy paste that into AI, and it goes through a 20-page, privacy and disclosure agreement and gives you anything you need to know, as long as you ask the right prompts, which then leads to another topic. But the ability to do that, to have the recourse if something goes wrong, is now available to the common person, where before it wasn't, and you were just up shit's creek with no paddle.
Steve's going to put that law degree to work, make some money, and then we're all going to Mania.
We're all going to Mania. Yeah. So, but this is why they say paralegals will no longer be needed, because they don't need to do the research. You just plug it in, and AI will spit it out. But you got to know what to fact check and how to look up what's what, right? But yeah, so I mean, we're off and running with embezzlement of funds for WWE events. That's a great way to start the week. If you did embezzle funds and you put it on pro wrestling this week, you definitely got worked, because we can get into all that hot mess and garbage there. But I feel like, was there something else that was over in the group chat that we said?
We're going to get into the list later.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that was the other one that came over.
Yeah. All right.
So with that, since we're get in on that train, let's go into the mushes first. I got Donald's stuff, so I'll start with his, and then we can work our way around. Donald has a 1A and a 1B. We'll go 1B. We're running Kaylani and Jada Parker again. Lazy writing. So I didn't watch NXT, so if you guys did.
It's a little different than before, but I see what he's saying.
They flipped the side of the flipped each side of the coin, so one's heel, one's face,
just to change it up.
Vice versa, yeah.
All right, and his main push for the week is the Punk and Roman segment again. This is not selling me for Mania whatsoever. I don't care about Jay running the playbook and possibly turning heel on Roman at Mania. Nothing is working for me. One guy is a part-timer. The other guy is a washed-up old guy that was done back in 2014. Same build-up as last year, minus Heyman and Seth. I want Stephanie and Liv to main event on Sunday night.
I mean, for my money, even though Randy and Cody has come off a little bit better the last 2 weeks than Seth Roman, or than Punk and Roman, they're running the same exact playbook for both main events on both shows, Monday and Friday night. You had a pull-apart brawl, Roman sends Punk through the table, and show. Last night, you have a pull-apart brawl, RKO on Jelly Roll, and the show. Like, it's literally the same thing for both main events. I am way more interested to Stephanie and Liv, but I'm also way more interested in Brock and Oba. So, like, I get it's to be you can be excited about what you want on the card. That's your subjective preference, right? But the fact that neither of your main events are at the top of my list as far as interest goes to show the lack of build and story that they've done. They have cratered Roman and Punk off the Grand Canyon faster than Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill going from, oh, this is absolute heat to the worst of the worst.
So it seemed, so when we started the Mania build up weeks back, at first it was like pause, and then it was no, I'm all gas, no brakes now, and then it was like another start stop. So like, where do you feel like you're at now? Are you still start stopping or?
No, but I took an exit off the main highway from the main event segments, and I took an exit to matches that aren't going to be in the main event that I'm more interested in. Oba Brock, Liv Stephanie. Like those two. The Liv and Stephanie is the only title match on the card that I'm interested in. And we can get into, match announcement last night for a title that had everybody up in arms. But
We will.
yeah, that like Jade Rhea, don't care. Roman Punk, don't care. Cody Randy, I don't care. I don't care. You're intertwining the Usos and all of that, and then on the SmackDown side, you're intertwining Matt Cardona and Jelly Roll.
That's exactly where they lost me. Like I was here for, but once you put Jelly Roll in there and Matt Cardona, I'm out. This could have been perfect for Roman and CM Punk. You didn't need the Usos, and now I'm fearful of another overbooked main event.
Is Matt Cardona and Jelly Roll into the main event? Is that what they're?
No, they just been involved in the story the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they've just been part of the vehicle to tell the story. But here's where the blind leads the blind, and you miss the most obvious. And keep it simple, stupid. Both programs, Roman and Punk, Cody and Randy, the simplicity of the story was based on the history between the two men.
Yes.
And they haven't touched on any of that for either feud. You have the very first promo.
That's more a shame for Cody and Randy than it is for Punk and Roman.
Right. Like you've tied this Randy story to the voices in his head. Cody told him, listen to the voices. And now the Viper is 09 Randy, which everybody wants. Okay. That's what you're doing your story on. But you haven't touched on anything of legacy. You haven't touched on any of the history. You haven't touched on Cody facing Randy in his first match on Raw. You haven't touched on Dusty and Randy. You haven't touched on any of that from a history perspective. You haven't touched on any of the history since Cody came back and Randy being in his corner and everything. You haven't touched any of that. Roman and Punk, you got bits of it in the very first promo segment that they did. And then Roman said, I'm selecting you because I hate you. And you haven't heard a peep of history since. It's transitioned to you're old.
Jizz and oil.
That's the story. I'm old. Yeah, I'm old. I just don't put just for men in my beard like you do, Roman. Oh, Roman goes on the Tonight Show. Hey, Phil, I guess you're sleeping. You're not going to see this segment because you're old. But I'm here because I'm a bigger star than you. That Zebros. That's where we're at.
Where's AI at when you need it?
This is probably the AI.
I don't understand how you take the simple and overthink it to complicate it to where you have no investment across the board. Now, I may be in the minority and people may be lapping and eating this up. I've seen people love the Monday Night Raw main event segment. I see people loved Cody and Randy last night.
Okay.
For me, it's not clicking because the story that you should be telling is a story that I'm more interested in that you haven't done anything with.
I wonder if this is, and I don't know, it's just me spitballing here. I wonder if this has to do with maybe the writers that are working, that maybe they're just, like, I know we've had like Road Dogg has left creative. At least he knew history of stuff. I wonder if the writers that are coming in now just maybe aren't fans again and just don't know the history to tie it all together. And then,
bro, writers are not the four men that are in these two matches can write the story and the creative themselves. You know, Heyman is directly linked to anything Roman does. And I just don't understand how you're going into these creative meetings, regardless of who's in there for which shows, and this is where you feel like you should have went. Now, out of the two, if we're picking which should main event Saturday, which should main event Sunday, I think Cody and Randy should main event Sunday night 2. If we're just off of those two.
I agree.
But I'm not interested in either one. Now you have 3 weeks to get me there. Can you circle around and get me back on the main highway instead of riding alongside on the side streets? Yeah, you can. But what they've done from start to now got me off of that path, and I'm driving down side streets looking at other landmarks and monuments. I can care less what's going on the highway.
My match of the weekend right now might be the Natty versus Shayna Baszler match on Bloodsport.
I was thinking the same thing when that clip came over. And Nat, shout out to Natty, by the way, who liked the post on Instagram. I mean, again, this is where keeping it simple fails. Like, she is gold outside of the WWE bottle in the gimmick. The gimmick in WWE, they're not doing the same thing.
Mm-mm. She's okay down
and I get
it when she goes down there too, but
it's to say it's just in WWE. So people are just, oh, this doesn't work. Why are we doing this? This is stupid. It's like, no, watch it outside of the bubble. Yeah. It works. But yeah, her and Shayna and the House of Glory card that they put out, that 4-match lineup that I've seen, where you got Shotzi versus Dakota Kai, Ricky Sosa's on there. You got Brody King versus I forget who Brody King's facing, and then you got Bandito versus Amazing Red. Like that House of Glory card is way more interesting than anything that's on Mania right now.
Yeah, I might actually tune in for the Bloodsport one whenever that's actually live, just for that match alone.
Yeah,
and I think, and then we had said a couple weeks ago, Pete Dunne's wrestling. I don't know if they've announced who he's wrestling yet, but
I don't think so.
Card might be worth it, but
yeah, Kojima's on there. Like, I mean, Barnett does. Anytime he puts on a Bloodsport, it's a card to watch. Like, there's matches and matchups and people that will garner interest in that type of setting, and they always deliver a great show. So, hell, I mean, I'm way more interested about Sandman getting attacked by the Invisible Man on a podcast this week than I was anything WWE. And he's fighting the Invisible Man at GCW Spring Break in his final retirement match.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean.
Steve, what was your wish for the week?
I mean, we just ran through it, but mine was, the main event title picture segments this week. Okay. I just can't, you've lost me. So we won't spend any more time with it because we just talked through it. But yeah, that's not in my wheelhouse as far as things that I enjoyed this week.
I'll continue it on here because, I mean, you're saying WWE program wasn't very good. I watched Dynamite and Impact, and there wasn't anything special on either of them this week either. Like, this isn't going to be like my normal shit on Impact ramp. This is just, I watched both shows. I'm going to give the slight edge to Dynamite because I did enjoy 2 matches on there compared to one that I enjoyed on Impact. But it's like, even with TNA, I kind of expected it because I knew last night was an event of theirs, so like that last episode is kind of like their throwaway shit anyways, but like it's just, there was nothing worth like a lot of on those programs this week at all.
TNA had a better showing last night for various reasons, which we'll get into. But yeah, I mean, Dynamite, at least with Dynamite, they had a consistent thread throughout the show, which was Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily like everything that he was involved in. I thought the MJF and him promo segment was not good in that regards, and that led to a Nick Nemeth MJF match based on back and forth comments that Nemeth said on Busted Open, and MJF retorted on social media to where Brian Myers stepped in and got a match scheduled between them two. And Nick Nemeth followed up yesterday saying, I'll wait for MJF's daddy, Tony Khan, to put some excuse out there as to why he can't wrestle me. Great stuff.
Where's the match supposed to be taking place at?
I think I bookmarked it, but
And the only thing, I enjoyed Omega and Swerve. I enjoyed Mina Thekla. Then on Impact, I enjoyed Ali versus BDE. But like the one thing that I thought for sure, like, don't give me a Buff Bagwell match in TNA. Please don't give me a Buff Bagwell match in TNA. Like, I don't need to see that in 2026.
No.
Yeah.
You're talking about like Sosa coming in, like, and we might get to that more, but like focus on the young talent. Don't.
Yeah, that House of Glory card that I referenced, Brody King is facing Zilla, Fatu, Bandito, Amazing Red, Charlie, Dakota Kai versus Shotzi, and then you got Sosa versus Cashflow. So the Nemeth MJF is supposed to be taking place at Creative Pro Wrestling on May 1st.
Okay.
So we'll see if that actually goes out and happens, but
it should. MJF usually does some indies, so.
Yeah, but you got a TNA wrestler when TNA is not working with the AEW against the AEW champion on an indie program. You know, I don't know where that will come down, so to speak, but
let it happen.
Why not?
Yeah.
So,
all right, Jason, what do you got for Mush?
I'm gonna keep the thread going. SmackDown was horrible. I came home from work and I was checking because my boy was like, "Hey, tickets are dropping. Tickets are dropping." I get on StubHub and it's like $88 for 2 seats. I'm like, you know what?
Terrible.
I might as for lower bowl. I'm like, I might as well take the kid today. And then my sister texted me like, we got an 8-year-old's birthday party to go to. So I ended up going to a birthday party, and I'm glad I did because SmackDown was horrible from beginning to end. Drew and Jacob didn't deliver. Taking the belt off of what's his name?
Mello
Hayes, yeah. Which could have played out better, like what happened with Trick with the belt and thing. It just came off bad.
We are going to be touching that again, but
belt back on Sami Zayn.
Well, no, let's get into it right now because that's
okay. You have anything else you want to talk about on SmackDown other than that, Jason?
No, just everything was terrible other than Charlotte.
So Donald's Rushmore is Sammy winning the U.S. title, not because he won the title, but so Trick can win it at Mania. So Trick can shine and bury Sammy, and for Sammy to be banished to Evolve and be erased.
No, Donald's very tongue-in-cheek there, obviously. But before we go into this, I will say the cage match ratings for SmackDown last night, and take cage match ratings for what you do with it, right? To me, it's kind of like using Pro Football Focus grades for statistics and player performance. But SmackDown got rated 1.67 out of 10 last night for a show. It's the lowest rating they've ever gotten.
Everything was bad.
On the road to Mania.
On the road to Mania.
The pull apart was
now,
bad. Everything.
You know, who knows who's actually going there and voting on the show? Is it a bunch of AEW people going in, blah, blah, blah.
And that's also
consensus
early. Other people will probably catch up this weekend too. It could change.
I mean, that is the consensus that it was not good last night overall from start to finish. And a lot of things did not make sense. However,
the only positive was Julia winning.
And that was even done with interference by Kiana. So it's like you still are cutting Julia off at her knees and to what, quote unquote, protect Tiffany. Like, come on, man. What are we doing?
And I'll give what was almost my Rushmore this week, and it didn't end up being this, but Chelsea Graham was in Pittsburgh all week. hyping up SmackDown, doing the
was-
media rounds.
That was mine.
Entertaining as hell.
Yeah. She kicked a field goal with a broken ankle. So
It showed back up on SmackDown in the wheelchair.
yeah. No, she was listen, I mean, Cardona talked about it on Cody's podcast. Like they both did. Like she does everything. Yeah. And you know, she's a top tier player without the top tier in-ring recognition that you would have associated with having a women's title, right? But Sammy and Mello and everything else that went down last night. So this was just absolutely a tornado through the internet wrestling community last night after it happened. So allegedly, before the show dropped, there were spoilers on Fightful that Sammy was beating Mello for the title. Everybody immediately buried Sean Ross Sapp, even though he tweeted out, "I'm at a convention. There are other people that work at Fightful that report stuff." This, like me personally, did not report on this, but you know, the site reported on this, and that led into, "Oh, you always spoil WWE returns and shows and this and that and title changes, but you know you've never once spoiled Copeland and Christian returning, or Omega returning, or Ospreay returning, or AEW title changes." Like, so that led into the whole they're all in TK's pocket because they don't want to ruffle his feathers, and I'm staying out of that argument. But Sammy Mello,
sure they have, but
if you were upset last night that Carmelo Hayes got screwed out of a WrestleMania match and WrestleMania moment based on the work that he put into the U.S. title, I absolutely understand your agreement or your argument there. What I don't get is if you watch wrestling, and if this is for not somebody that's new to wrestling, but if you have watched wrestling for years, if you can't see the reason why they did the title change last night, you just don't understand pro wrestling.
No.
The vehicle is to have Trick get the moment and Trick win the title and Trick get the pop based on Trick's just rocket ship trajectory that he's on. And it's the same trajectory that Oba's on going with Brock. If you don't get that, I don't know what to tell you. It's like, well, you could have kept the belt on Mello and had Trick beat Mello. The money is in Trick and Mello.
mm-hmm.
You're not, and this is from my standpoint, you're not going to waste all that story and history between Trick and Mello in a 3-week build up to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But then you have Mello chasing.
And Mello can chase afterwards, and we can get Mello and Trick at SummerSlam, and it's a big time match with a big time money draw with a big time event.
Or save it for down the road too. You don't have to do it for the U.S. title.
Right. And I will say the other thing that people don't get, all the hate went on Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn don't book the show. He don't book. It's like Sami Zayn politicking for this match. He just ruined Carmelo. A way to bury a young talent. He's putting over a young talent at WrestleMania. So you can't have it both ways. I feel bad for Sammy, honestly, because he's in the spot that he's in where he's catching all the flack. He's in a, damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Can you replace him with Shinsuke? Give Shinsuke a TV time. I'm just overseeing what he's saying.
But this is leading to Trick winning and Sammy turning and going heel.
Yeah.
Like, a babyface does not sucker punch the person in a backstage segment like Sammy did last night to Trick.
Catering's that way.
Yeah, like
If Sammy didn't win, if Sammy didn't win last night, do you see the U.S. title being on Mania? Because I think Mello would have just done it on the Friday before.
Well, that's the other thing.
Yeah,
if you're putting the multi-man match for the IC title, then yeah, I don't know if the US title actually gets on the Mania card to begin with. So, you know, you have that to consider as well. I just, is it fair to Melo? No. Would I prefer a triple threat with Melo being added in? Okay, cool. Hell, you could even do a 4-way with Dragunov based on what Melo and Dragunov have done for that whole title picture this year.
Mm-hmm. Had the big payoff match.
Not to have everybody on the card, but if we're getting everybody on the card, then you have, you know, but do you need 3 multi-man women matches on Mania? Even though it is 2 nights, I think that's a little too much. You can't have a multi-man IC title, a multi-man US title, and a multi-woman tag team title match.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Melo deserves better, absolutely. But you got to – this is where you get, you know, you lose the forest through the trees because you're so narrowed in on – the low stuff, and you're not looking at it from a bird's eye view perspective. Do I like that they did this 3 weeks out from Mania? No. But it's not like they haven't been telling this story for weeks with Trick.
But it felt like it was last minute.
But it was reported on. It was reported on back in January that they were considering Trick versus Sammy at WrestleMania. So the reports and the rumor and innuendo has been out there that they've been reportedly looking at this. They just decided to pull the trigger. Again, I don't like how they've booked this road to WrestleMania, and I know a lot of injuries caused them to change a lot of things, but you're not garnering the most interest for the show. And will Trek, when he wins, get the pop and the payoff? Absolutely. Yeah. But still, it could mean even more if you would have done this and actually build it up properly outside of just 3 weeks from. Now, if you add Melo to it, just as a, hey, thanks, champ. This is your reward for doing the job. As long as he don't take the pin at Mania, okay. But
I'd rather.
Who's to say they won't put him in the match and then have him take the pin just so that Sammy's protected, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it could happen.
Then people will be bitching about it then. So, like,
as much as Melo deserves the spot, in a spot at Mania, I'd rather him not be in there just to be put in there for that reason. You know, save the money for another time with those two.
And we talked about this even as late as last week. You can only do so much with open challenges. You need to get Melo in an actual story. Well, if him losing to Sammy leads to him chasing Trick and they actually tell a story with it and it builds to whether it's a big time, you know, Saturday night's main event at MSG in July, or it leads to them two at SummerSlam having a one-on-one, then I will sacrifice him losing the title now to get that.
Just hopefully they deliver on it.
That's the challenge. That's the challenge, right? So yeah, but I understand that. I don't. Donald's a little tongue in cheek there with having that as his Mount Rushmore. But
Jason, was Chelsea yours, or did you have something else?
It was, but I have a 1B.
Okay.
The picture in the picture before the main event last night was just all Cody walking the bus. That was perfect.
No, that was the dumbest thing ever.
Oh,
you had Randy Orton just pacing back and forth in the ring, looking over his shoulder. Meanwhile, Cody's on a jumbotron walking, so he's not going to come in from behind you, Randy. You can see him walking in on the freaking jumbotron. But for 2 solid minutes, I just saw Randy Orton doing this in the ring. That's the worst timing. That laid out. I hated it.
Cody was walking like me walking to the punch clock. 5 minutes before it's time to punch clock.
Did you see? And this was circulating around, but I actually caught it live as it happened. Did you see the guy that came out of the bathroom behind Cody that was like this from blowing the bathroom up? Yeah.
But it's like I hate picture-in-the-picture so much that was the perfect thing to use picture-in-the-picture for. You could have used, use it for stuff like that. Don't give it to me during the match. So that was just perfect for me. I every minute of it.
Steve, you were saying like you didn't like him moving. I didn't see it, but I'm wondering like the way you're describing him moving, shaking his head around constantly. Maybe it's him listening to the voices in his head or trying to.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that.
He also was waiting for the like 2 security guards to come in and get him up, but that was like that was well after the fact.
Go ahead, Steve.
My Mount Rushmore is TNA. Sacrifice, specifically 3 things. 1, you signed Ricky Sousa, bang bang. So I've been on beating this drum since he came to TV. If you don't sign him, what are you doing? If you don't sign him, what are you doing? They signed him last night. They inked him to a deal. So congratulations, TNA, for doing that. I thought it was well done with Chris Bay coming out making the announcement. Really loved that. So that was good job. Applause right there. Second, the intergender match between Trey Miguel, Jada Stone, Mustafa Ali, and Tasha Steelz was my Mount Rushmore this week. I absolutely love that match.
Same.
Jada Stone, like we saw her live here in Pittsburgh when she got signed to a TNA contract, her and Milo Moore. She is a spark plug of energy, and the stuff she's able to do is fantastic in the ring.
I was worried about Ali a couple times in that match. Just the height difference. It's like
but Ali is so good at selling for other people, much like your Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler was for years. Like he made everything about that match. I loved that match last night. It was my favorite match of the week. And then lastly, I know the main event didn't happen, but TNA did the opposite of what OVW did. So the main event stopped literally, I would say, probably 3 minutes into it, with Macklin getting a concussion, and he took a super kick from Santana, and you saw his arm immediately seized up, right? The ref was paying attention, watching, looking this and that, slid in between him and Santana to check, and then threw up the X, and they called off the match, which complete opposite of what OVW did in their situation. And TNA on the fly, so that you get something out of it, sent down Eddie Edwards to do a run-in to attack Santana, which led to Santana jumping off the top rope and putting Edwards through a table. And Santana, you send the crowd home happy that way. So, well, you did not get the match between Macklin and Santana, which they did a tremendous build for, to actually have them two go in with stakes and interest and emotion and everything else, even though Chris wasn't high on that match. The way that they handled everything that happened on the fly in real time could not have been done any better, given the same situation that happened to any company for a main event segment, especially on a pay-per-view show.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with how that all worked out. Yeah, I haven't been big on the build, but people seem interested in it. It's Macklin and Santana. So at least now you have 3 more weeks to Rebellion. And you can carry that emotion and everything to that pay-per-view now.
Spoiler alert, Nick Nemeth cashed in his challenge against Santana for Rebellion in his home city of Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
Now that may change, but
yeah,
hometown man, not the hometown man, but hometown man, getting a title shot in Cleveland, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, again, it's not something that you want during your main event segment on a pay-per-view. But what they did was enough to where people aren't up in arms, aren't riding, and they took safety first and thought of something creative on the fly to get them to go home where people left happy. Can't ask for a better
Yeah.
scenario given the circumstances.
My Rushmore is the same as yours. Was the mixed tag match, easily match of the week. They announced beforehand that at Rebellion for the International Championship it was going to be Ali versus Trey Miguel. So I was excited about that even when they announced it. But the stuff that they did in that match to build up with that, like especially the ending, I was just like, right here, this is why I'll watch that event. And then they also announced Leon Slater versus Cedric Alexander for the X Division title at Rebellion. It's like I'm watching specifically for those two matches. But like,
and I know you talked about Buff Bagwell not getting a match in 2026. They did announce also for Rebellion the Mickey James, ODB, and Taryn versus Ash by Elegance and M by Elegance and H by Elegance in a trios match for Rebellion as well. So I'm sure we'll get Moose versus Agent Zero because that Eddie Edwards and Moose ended in disqualification last night.
I was thinking we might see that as a rematch, but
which I'm fine with. The former Bill Coulter, Agent Zero, so that's big men slapping meat with each other. So yeah, I thought TNA pay-per-view overall was good. I enjoyed the matches. I enjoyed Leon Slater and Eric Young. We talked about the intergender match. What happened in the main event segment?
Those were the highlights.
It sets up a nice card for Rebellion, right? But when you look at TNA, and Chris, you mentioned 3-4 guys there. You have Leon Slater. Don't know how long his contract is. He's obviously somebody high on WWE's wish list. But you have Slater, you have Ali, you have Trey Miguel, you have Cedric Alexander. Now you add in Ricky Sosa. Like, you have 5 guys right there that you can really build your company around, much like going back in the day to TNA when you had AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, Amazing Red, all those guys in the X Division that really made TNA stand out and get people interested in TNA. They have a nice crop that they can do a lot with in this regards that's not reliant so much on the same people in the same spots all the time. So
I've said this before, and I'll say it again for this year. With the partnership with NXT and WWE and the young talent that they're pulling from other parts of the world, this year, and especially because of the World Cup, do a TNA X Division like World Cup again. You can do this with all the talent that you can pull from right now. And that is an easy way to keep people tuning in week to week on Impact if you do something like that, building up to say a Slammiversary. But
it's definitely and you can even say this for AEW when you look at the landscape, when you're just looking at the rosters. We're at a tipping point with the changing of the guard from a generational standpoint in wrestling. And Cody and Cardona touched on this on the podcast this week as well. Like, you've seen the picture, and it's been out there for years, but you saw the picture of them when they all had titles backstage in WWE, right? It was Cardona, It was Cody, it was Punk, it was Kofi Kingston. I think Beth Phoenix was the women's champ at the time.
Yep. Divas champ at the time.
Divas champ at the time. Like, that was the young crop then, right? That was next up. And now Cody's like, we're in the locker room, and now we're looking, and it's like, you have Oba, you have Trick, you have Javon, right? You have all these younger talents that are there that are, that next crop, that next wave to carry the company forward. TNA is the same way with guys I just rattled off. Yeah. AEW has your Kyle Fletchers, it has your, it has your young guns as well. It's a shift in landscape. And what will be the next 15, 20 years in pro wrestling. Now, will all those people hit? No. You'll probably get maybe, if you're lucky, across each company, you'll get 3 in each company that will actually hit and be stars of stars. But WWE, Oba, Trick, you can damn near already put them up there now.
No.
And Javon, I feel, is there from a holy shit standpoint. I want to see him in the ring. His character may take more time, but Trick and Oba, they're already there. Like, which is why they're getting the spots that they're getting.
And that's what you got to do. You want these guys to hit. You got to. Trick and Oba are already there because people are buying into them early. Now you just got to give the entertainment for everything else for other people, and that in order to want to keep tuning in for it. And that's where I'm questionable on all of them. Anything else before we get into the game?
Yeah, I want to bring this up and have a little bit longer of a discussion outside of just a quick hitter notice. But last night, MLP, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, did their joint show with ROH. Good show. Enjoyed it. But the big takeaway from there was that MLP got a TV deal where they will be on TSN, which for those of you in the States that don't know, TSN is Canada's version of ESPN, right? It's the premier sporting channel in Canada. But they inked the deal to where they'll be shown on TSN going forward. And just kudos to Scott D'Amore.
July, I think they said, right?
Yep, July it'll start airing on TSN in Canada. So, like, we talk about the state of the business and where we're at and the options and the opportunities. TNA getting on AMC, AEW with TNT, TBS Max, WWE with CW, USA, Netflix, ESPN, AAA now YouTube, but that's also airing stateswide. Different things. And now Maple Leaf Pro on TSN in Canada. Like, the health of the business, you could argue, has never been healthier. And the landscape as far as opportunities has never been greater outside of the old territory days where with the number of options that talent can go wrestle at.
Yeah.
So kudos to D'Amore. Kudos to shout out to Maple Leaf Pro for getting on TSN. Happy to see it. Not so happy that Josh Alexander, is out with a knee injury for an extended period of time and wasn't able to wrestle last night. But can't ask for a better showing or better news for Maple Leaf Pro. And You're talking, what, a year and a half, and they got a TV deal?
It looks like they're going to run like the TNA thing. It'll be like 2 days every month will be their tapings, and then so Scott knows that schedule pretty well. So,
and it works for a smaller promotion.
Yeah,
you don't have to shell out the budget to go live every single week.
Mm-hmm. Things to work towards. Jason, you got anything else? All right, so someone had sent over in the group chat. Bleacher Report did the top 25 best WWE women's matches. I didn't pull up all 25 on here. I do have the list. But I just put the top 10. So the top 10 here, number 1, Bayley versus Sasha at TakeOver Brooklyn. Io, Rhea, Bianca, Mania 41. Rhea, Charlotte, Mania 39. Rhea, Io, Naomi at Evolution 2025. Bianca and Sasha at WrestleMania 37. Sasha, Becky, Charlotte, Mania 32. Becky, Charlotte, Evolution 2018. Bayley, Io, Mania 40. Bianca and Becky, Mania 38. And Bayley, Sasha, TakeOver Respect, bookending it in the top 10.
Bayley, Sasha, TakeOver Brooklyn is my favorite women's match in WWE all time. When you're just looking at this list, breaking down the top 5, Bianca, Sasha, WrestleMania 37 should be number 2. if not arguably number one, because it was the main event of a WrestleMania.
Mm.
And they delivered. So, you know, I Bailey Sasha was my favorite, you know, in comparison when you're breaking down those two matches. But given the stakes and what everything is, Bianca Sasha just on this list should be up there. I do question why, and I'd have to go back and rewatch the match to see if it actually delivered, but Becky, Charlotte, Ronda is not in the top 10.
It was not, and I don't even think it made the top 25. They did a bunch of honorable mentions, and that was one of their honorable mentions.
I think,
and they did
top 25 was Charlotte and Sasha or Roadblock in their honorable mentions.
No,
that should be in the top 25 for me. That was one that happened here.
I do remember that one.
I mean,
There's a lot that I feel like I would have to rewatch again, like to actually do the list. But like number one, I'm 100% fine with that. Trish and Mickey at Mania 22 is in the top 25, but that's in my top 10. And even who was it? Charlotte and Natty from TakeOver 2014, like that's in my top 10, and that was just an honorable mention too.
So these seems to be the same group of names, but you also have I think Caitlyn and AJ were on the list.
They were 25.
Paige and Emma were on the list.
Okay.
And then like Trish and
that was 24. Paige and Emma. I could see that one too.
Yeah. I was doing a count, and surprisingly, of the four horsewomen, Becky has the most top 25 matches, like 7 or 8.
Okay.
And Becky has the least, which should be flip-flop.
Donald gave me his top 5. He said Sasha Bailey take over Brooklyn's number 1 for him too. Sasha Charlotte take over our Evolution. Kairi Sane, Shayna Baszler, the Mae Young Classic final. That was a good one. Asuka Ember Moon at Takeover Brooklyn 3. I could see that. Yeah. And then Rhea Io at Evolution 2025. Those were his top 5.
From a top 10 perspective, the two that sit just outside, Lita and Trish from main event Raw 04.
I feel like that should get in.
And Asuka Charlotte WrestleMania 34. Those two, we can make arguments to put in the top 10, even though they're just outside.
But overall consensus, good list.
Yeah.
And you can fight for any one of these to move up higher.
Yeah, I mean, it
makes me want to go back and watch a lot of them, you know, to really make a list. But
I'm trying to think of anything that is not on this top 25 list off the top of my head that may be omitted that should be on here.
That Roadblock was the only one that first came to my mind. Omitted wise.
They did Becky and Trish Payback 2023 in the cage. That was number 22.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I think the biggest omission from the top 25, and I'd have to go back and rewatch the actual match, but the fact that Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda Triple Threat Mania is not in the top 25,
yeah,
that seems a little outrageous for me.
And I think their justification on it, and I can understand, the history is there, you know, putting it on for that historical perspective, 100% agree. But they said the match, they didn't feel delivered enough. It was a little wonky.
Was it her and Ronda on the list?
Charlotte, Ronda, Survivor Series 2018.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, that was number 23.
You know, you don't have the women's Hell in a Cell from 2 years ago is not on here, or the first women's war game. with EO jumping off of the top of the cage with the trash can.
The NXT one.
Yeah, the NXT one.
Okay, I was gonna say the Survivor Series one's on here, but
yeah, I mean,
Team Rippler versus Team Baszler 2019. I don't know if that was the first one or
yeah,
that was 18.
I mean, I realistically, like, if you just showed me this top 10, I don't have very many quips or arguments. Like, I again, Bianca Sasha is one of the better lists that we've seen a publication put out for sure.
There are some black and gold NXT women's matches that can slide up in here too. But
yeah, I'm sure. I'm surprised NXT isn't more dominant on the list, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Asuka Bailey, Asuka's debut.
Yeah.
She won the belt.
Shayna Rhea EO.
Shayna Rhea. Rhea and Raquel, the what was the match when was it Raquel that got stuffed in the locker?
Go through the wall or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did Candice LeRae? Was it Candice LeRae and EO?
Yeah, because Candice is running NXT was so much better than main roster.
Yeah, a lot of those Mae Young Women Classic matches, for sure. Yeah. But top 5, I mean, you're pretty strong with this top 5. I'll adjust the order based on my personal preference. Bailey Sasha 1, Bianca Sasha WrestleMania 37 2, Io Rhea Bianca 3. I would move Bianca Sasha up to 2 and just slide everybody down one spot from a top 5 perspective. But I have no major gripes at all with this list. And Bailey Sasha, again, I would argue that the Takeover Respect is their I Quit match, right? Number 10. Is that where the
I thought that was Iron Man
match? Or the Iron Woman match?
Yeah. I think that was Respect was Iron Woman.
Where they both got their flowers and the send-off afterwards. Yeah. Where Sasha made Izzy cry. That arguably could be moved up the list as well. But yeah.
It's pretty accurate.
And that, like you said, it's rare that for some of these lists that are made that we actually say, like, no, you actually did your history right. Can't see too much argument on that. Any quick hitters? I think we covered everything I had, but you guys got anything else?
Bad News Brown to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, as well as Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid. So 2 people that, in my opinion, should have been in a long time ago, but it's nice to know that they're going in.
They're both legacy inductees, which aren't the ones that get the real induction, but
yeah. Right. Yeah. That's why I said they should have been in before then. And if you're going to say Bad News Brown doesn't deserve to be in, you don't know the history and career of Bad News Brown. It's not just WWE specific. But it did lead to an interesting discussion as far as why Sable's not in the WWE Hall of Fame.
I've thought for sure since Lesnar returned however many years ago that at some point she would have gone
in. We talked about Rebellion upcoming matches. Talked about Baron Corbin's comments on Melo losing and getting screwed. ESPN with the lawsuits. Tony Khan responded to Jonathan Coachman, and he will be setting up. They will be setting up time for Tony to join Coach and Vince Russo on the Coach and Bro Show. So that will be an interview that I will tune in for and listen to.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I hope they really ask him. I think they will, but I really hope they ask him hard-hitting questions and not just softballs that day.
Talked about MJF and Nick Nemeth. Priority passes, VIP packages. Yeah, I think we hit it all.
Jason, you got anything?
Nope. Nope.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to episode 284 of the Dumbmarks podcast, EMBEZZLE-MANIA. Make sure you follow us on all socials at DumbmarksPod. Head over, follow, and listen to us on Spotify and YouTube. And head over to dumbmarkspod.com. Click the links for Surfshark, for WWE Shop, and ProWrestlingTees.com/dumbmarkspod. Help support the show here. And before we wrap things up, we'll give you the quote of the week. One day you're going to look back and wish that you had told more people to go fuck themselves. Have a good week.